Today in the crypto space, we see a bit of mix of green and red throughout the market. Bitcoin still hovering around that $43,000 level, and Ethereum finally breaking out, doing a pretty good move to the upside, up approximately 3%. The rest of the crypto space, the altcoins, again, a mix of green and red throughout this market. Some good gainers, some dips, of course, that we can definitely take advantage of. However, guys, in today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but I want to focus on Ethereum. Of course, the heavyweight of altcoins. Let's see what it got for us in the up and coming future. So you know what? Let's talk about the news. Let's analyze the charts and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome on the channel. We talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunities. Whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of this market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate that strategy, subscribe to the channel and click that bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the chat. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description below. Feel free to join that Discord. The Discord is a great community. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here with Bitcoin. Of course, Bitcoin is going sideways, and this is something that I've been mentioning for a while now. Bitcoin going sideways, Ethereum getting a run to the upside, Bitcoin dominance getting a pullback. A lot of good indications, a lot of good confirmations that an altcoin season is in the works. Now, of course, guys, there's no guarantees for any of this. However, guys, the probability of seeing altcoins run after Ethereum shows us and leads the way is very high. It starts to improve those odds. So don't take it for granted. However, guys, consider this an opportunity that could come around the corner. So Ethereum right now up approximately 4%, give or take, and a lot of the altcoins are either going a bit sideways or getting a bit of a pop to the upside. It's upside. Dogecoin coming down, AVAX coming down, because a lot of individuals are looking into taking some of their capital that might be allotted to these larger caps and putting them into ETH, of course, because ETH is moving, and that's where they want to get their capital to work. Having your capital stagnant, sitting there, and maybe even a dip, it's better off looking for where the momentum is at, where the market participation is at, and the market participation at the current moment is in Ethereum. You've seen Ethereum wake up. We're going to look at the Ethereum chart shortly, so make sure that you stay tuned for that. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin first, of course, and we're going to finish up looking at this market. Very sideways market today. Nothing really crazy. Monero waking up a little bit. Ethereum Classic. Again, when ETH moves, Ethereum Classic moves. This is a fork of Ethereum, of course, and giving us an indication that Ethereum right now is showing a bit of bullishness. Caspa coming down 8%, not looking the greatest there. Lido getting a bit of a pop, slightly pop to the upside, 7%, looking pretty good. Immutable X, 9%, not bad. Generally speaking, a 9% move is very, very nice. However, guys, you can see that the structure is still there, right? We're still within range. Hasn't broken out just yet. So if it does break out, great. We can see a continuation to the upside. But of course, look at optimism. Layer 2 solution. Okay, it's a layer 2 on for Ethereum. So this is the thing here, guys. We're seeing Ethereum run. We're seeing the layer 2s looking pretty good, especially optimism in this case. So not bad. VeChain taking a bit of a dip, but nothing significant or directly related to VeChain. It's just market wide, right? Unless you're somehow associated to Ethereum, expect sideways or a bit of a retracement, a bit of a dip. Arbitrum is another one that's doing pretty good, 7%, looking pretty healthy. A nice run to the upside, and as you continue, we should see some good momentum to the upside. Now, I'm wondering what Chainlink is looking like. Did I scooch right over it? Let me see. Helium looking okay still. Tezos waking up a little bit, but look at Helium running to the upside, guys. Running. Beam looking pretty good as well, but stagnant a little bit. BTT getting a fat pullback, 20% to the downside. I know I passed over Chainlink. I'm curious as to what Link has to say about this price action. Pepe doing okay right there, and Luna. Let's see where's Link. I know it's at the top somewhere. Hopefully I'm not going too quick and run right over it. I forget its market cap. I forget where it should be at. I know it's larger. I know it's up here somewhere. There we are, Chainlink. Honestly, I'm surprised that it hasn't moved yet. I'm surprised that it's not picking up on the momentum from Ethereum, but we'll definitely keep an eye on Chainlink in the next little while. All right, guys, I know you're here to talk about charts. Let's begin our analysis talking about Bitcoin. Bitcoin, of course, running up. Didn't hit the absolute bullish price target of about 45,800, but we definitely started breaking into this volume gap. So this is where you have a bit of conviction to be, basically analyze the scenario. Do we expect it to continue to the upside after a bit of a dip in the short term, or is this done? Meaning, should you be protecting the gains if you happen to get in at the bottom of the range down here where I was saying, green arrow by the dip, or even around this zone by the dip? Obviously, we didn't retrace here, but ultimately we are definitely in the green, and my opinion is, number one, getting into fresh long is quite dangerous, and number two, of course, keeping your gains fully intact without trailing up a stop loss or taking some off the table. You're just putting those gains at risk. You're putting them at risk to potentially give them back to the market. And that's something that you got to really, really anticipate, is that the market tends to want to, get back that value, induce a bit of pain onto the market, especially the ones that have been in a profitable scenario in the last little while. So Bitcoin hanging around here, guys, is something that I expected. The bearish divergence is still intact here on the daily. Honestly, this is where I'm going to be very aggressive to protect my gains. If I see any signs of a dip here, especially if we break below this consolidation here, below 35K, it's not looking good. Okay, we might get some support here, so that would be healthy. Maybe build a bit of structure, bigger picture structure, inverse head and shoulders, inverse cup and handle, Adam and Eve pattern, whatever it is. We're going to be paying attention to this overall scenario here for Bitcoin, because ultimately I think it's done a great job. We're very close to the golden pocket 618, and this is a very good time to see altcoins run. And this is why I think right now Ethereum is taking full advantage of the situation. Ethereum looks very matured. It looks very cooked at this point. And at the end of the day, Ethereum now is looking like an optimal opportunity to see some of the capital that people put into Bitcoin rotate into Ethereum. And we're seeing a first early stage of altcoin season rotation, which basically, again, puts Bitcoin at a disadvantage in the sense that people are looking to take profits off of Bitcoin and put them into Ethereum. And then when Ethereum runs, we're going to get a further rotation where we see profit taken off of ETH, and then we get into the larger cap altcoins and so on and so forth. So for now, what we're seeing is the potential beginning, and this is where, again, protect those gains on Bitcoin. Either you're going to get into Ethereum, take profits and put them into Ethereum, or you're going to put them into stable and wait for the market, to come down or type of thing. But really, if we get an altcoin season, you're going to want to get some exposure on those altcoins. Okay, so that's what we'll be looking at in the next little while. And you can see the bearish divergence on the RSI still here, lower lows on the RSI, higher highs on the price action. The MACD is getting one pale green histogram bar as we speak, slightly lower high here on the RSI, on the MACD histogram bars, and you can see that, which means that ultimately maybe it's done. Maybe we're done for that impulse. The bearish divergences are kicking in. Could be possible. Okay, so this is what we have to anticipate. All right, let's take a look at ETH. Quick update on ETH. Of course, I ignore ETH significantly here on the channel. I'm aware of that. Really, it's been in this consolidation phase for a good while. This upward sloping wedge, it does look up like a bear flag. You gotta admit, it does look like a bear flag. Impulsive move to the downside, nice retracement to the upside, and then maybe a continuation down. All very, very, very possible. However, guys, the current state that we're in this market suggests that Ethereum should start looking for higher levels. Now, I'm not expecting a breakout to all-time highs in price discovery, but I am expecting Ethereum to kind of catch up to where Bitcoin's at, and the rest of the market for that matter. Some of the altcoins have ran up significantly. Okay, so Ethereum going up to about $3,000 is very healthy. Okay, $3,000, what I'm kind of looking at. Now, the reason being is if you start looking at where we're at, we do have a bit of price action here. Unfortunately, there's not much of a volume gap to actually give us much of an indication, but we do see the beginning of potential supply and demand right in this area. Okay, so this is where I'm actually kind of, watch out. Now, really, the real important zone is right here. Okay, the real important zone is at about 36K. that's where I am going to be very careful here. But we're very close to all-time highs in this level, right? Very, very close. So we're gonna have to be patient for Ethereum. We're gonna have to be patient because we don't know how high we're gonna go. And we're gonna try to make sure that we exit slowly and trail up the stop losses. But if you kind of look at what's happening here, we're breaking out of this wedge. Okay, this wedge is definitely something that we got to keep an eye on. We broke out with a bit of conviction, just a little bit, right? You can see right here on the daily, we're breaking out of the volume gap that we identified a lot earlier. We kind of filled it up a little bit, and above you can see there's a lot of weakness, not much supply and demand to act as resistance. So we're gonna have to play day by day, right? So look at the daily momentum here on the RSI. Came from overbought, got a nice back test. Let's see how high this backtest could go. We can get into some extreme levels of overbought conditions. We know that, like maybe even higher, like maybe like this, or even like this, a little bit higher. It could happen, which would give us a nice impulse to the upside. And then I'm expecting a backtest. I'm expecting, of course, a backtest for the price action to come down, maybe backtest to break out, and then maybe move up. But obviously, we're gonna have to wait to see what happens here. That's why I'm going to be very, very, quick to take profits here, especially on ETH. I want to take profits so I can put them in lower cap altcoins. That's where my interest is in the last little while, and I'm going to be deploying a little bit more capital on the lower caps. The MACD EMA is facing up, of course. Green histogram bars to the upside, looking bullish still. No indication of any weakness at the moment for the MACD, but it is a lagging indicator, so it may take some time. But nonetheless, we do get a bit of bearish divergence here on the RSI. Let me show you what I mean here. RSI double top on the RSI, a little bit of this, something like that, and you can see that the RSI, the price action is basically going up like that. So ultimately, yeah, class A bearish divergence happening here, but at the moment we're breaking out. So let's see what kind of resistance we get. If we do continue, I'm expecting again a little bit of an impulse to the higher levels, and the target is very ambiguous at the moment. The 4-hour is overbought, exiting overbought conditions as well. So the daily is exiting overbought, so is the 4-hour, which gives you a bit of confidence here that, look, unless we break out with some real conviction, be careful, because we can fall right into this channel once again, or this wedge once again, and basically come back to test the bottom of the wedge, which we have a bit of a volume gap right here, and we have the diagonal support of the wedge. So this is something that we got to watch out for, because it could be a fake out. That's the issue with breakout trading. Sometimes we peak above and then come right back in. And based on the 4-hour, again, being overbought and exiting overbought conditions. Based on the daily, it already got overbought, and getting back into that overbought with that confirmation, unless we really explode to the upside, I'm being very cautious here. What's going on with the 1-hour? Again, exiting overbought, and the RSI EMAs are still facing up with green histogram bar. So things are still looking okay, because again, the price action can stay overbought for a good while. It doesn't mean that it has to come down real quick, right? It could stay here. It could stay in this zone, as we've seen a lot of the altcoins do, invalidating all kinds of bearish divergences by staying overbought for a significant amount of time and letting the price run. Now, what's bullish is the weekly. Okay, so this is what I left for the ending here, is because we've been following the weekly on a lot of the altcoins, and a lot of the altcoins got overbought on the weekly. Ethereum has yet to get overbought on the weekly, which means there is a potential pop to the upside yet to come here. Okay, so this is what we're looking at. Now it's starting to look really bullish, because we're removing all the noise, and you can see that these highs, this nice diagonal, eventually it did get breached. We broke right above it. We're breaching the horizontal, which is at about 23, which we're above, and we can continue going. And I'm looking at about maybe 30K, and as high as about 36K. These are the areas that I'm looking out for. So what I'm going to do is reuse this, put this up here, make a duplicate, and be like, look, if we get to that area, if we get to this zone with the Ethereum price, I am going to trail up the stop loss, take 10% off the top, trail it up a more, take 10% off the top, and then start being very defensive around these zones right here and here. But ultimately, look at the momentum. The momentum as we speak is very overextended. The RSI right now could be looking for a mean reversion. And what I mean by that, again, I say this once in a while, is that the purple and the yellow want to stay close by. Right now, the purple is way far away from the yellow. And if you see here as an example, the purple got far away and all of a sudden it started to hesitate. Every time it gets far away, they want to get back together. And it's far away right now. What is going to happen for it to get back together is two things. The purple line comes down, the yellow keeps on moving up, and they meet somewhere in the middle. Okay. Ultimately, what we could see is Ethereum get severely overbought here on the weekly, which means that in the short term we could get a dip, but in the long term, ultimately, the way the weekly looks like right now, even with the RSI, the MACD looking really nice, green histogram bars, nice dark green ones with EMAs facing up in the bullish control zone here on the weekly, is looking like it's very likely that we're going to continue to the upside. Okay, so this is why I got really bullish the other day on Ethereum. I've been telling you about Ethereum in the last little while, that it looks really good and it's very likely to give us that indication that an altcoin season is around the corner. And of course, tonight at 7:30 Eastern, we will be talking about the altcoin season narrative and what could we expect with regards to price action and what indicators we could use to confirm this altcoin season in the next couple of weeks, right? Because when it comes, it starts running and then it's too late. So this is the time we're looking for this breakout. We're seeing Ethereum show us signals, and on the weekly, it's looking quite bullish. And if we even get a pop to the upside where we hit, let's say $30,000 mark, we're talking about a nice move of 25%. And then even if we go up a little bit higher, sorry guys, we go up a little bit higher and we hit, 36, you're looking at about a 50% move, which is still decent. Now, more than that, we start getting into price discovery, which guys, bull run on? I don't think so. I think ultimately we want to see Ethereum catch up to Bitcoin, get a nice little pop to the upside, and then we'll see ETH retrace for a healthy retracement, maybe coming back down to back test at about 23K, 2300, right around this level. And then that's when we'll get the final bounce and potentially altcoin season, bull run season, whatever, all the seasons. And then all of a sudden we were going to be very lucky and count ourselves lucky that we've been scaling in throughout this whole period. Okay, so this is what we really want to keep an eye on here, is Ethereum leading the way for the market to swell up, because that's where the real gains are in altcoins. Bitcoin is great, no doubt, but if altcoins start to move, you want to make sure that you have your bags packed. All right, guys, thank you for stopping by. If you haven't yet, do the channel a massive favor. You know what you got to do is slap the like button. Slap it hard, because at the end of the day, it does really help out with the algorithm. And of course, I'm going to be live tonight at 7:30 Eastern talking about crypto news and price action. If you have any projects you want me to cover, that is a great time and place to request those live, and I will put those requests in top priority. If you want to follow me in those socials, the links are in the description. Feel free to join the Discord, guys. The Discord is a great community. Lots of good alpha trade setups and fundamentals. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.